So, today we want to do a big tier list stream. Actually, the title picture of this stream will be one of the first tier lists I created, or it's not one of the first, but it's the original design I used, and it's from a very long time ago, the ranking back when buyout was OP. So, and what I wanted to do today is normally we would just rank leaders, but I want to do subcategories. So let me share my screen. So now you can see a tier list. I already prepared this one. And now we will go over it and see if this actually fits. But actually, this is not supposed to be a ranking of the leaders, but instead we just rank their agendas instead. So, uh, when I look at agendas, there are like certain points we have to look at. In general, getting XP early is better than getting XP late, but we also want to look at like total XP and XP per turn and all that stuff. So at the top I have the Crusader. Why is the Crusader on top? It's very simple. His agenda is super strong because it pushes early on. Like early on you will take a lot of planets, and then later on it will cool down, but that doesn't matter enough. Like let's say you take like 5 planets with your agenda. That's 150 XP over maybe you can take 5 planets in the first 2 councils. So that's roughly like 10 XP per turn. That's just very good. Then later on it falls down a little bit. Like probably you don't take like more than like maybe like not never more than 10 planets. So your total XP on a game is probably less than 300. So that's kind of bad, but just like the immediate push is like so important because you get extra support from level up and you get access to like useful ships. So yeah. And we all know that like people like Strat, who's like really good at Crusader, used to just like push Crusader as quickly as possible. Like because the ultimate of Yondar is also really good, but that's not considered here. It's just like super, it's like the quickest level up probably in the first 2 councils. And, and afterwards we got the Seeker. The Seeker gets like 6 XP for every planet you discover. And of course that's also very strong because like you can easily start out with like 3 planets, so you get 18 XP before you even have started the game. And I think is it like planet you discover? Yeah, new planet. I think it's like pretty easy to like it's how many planets are there in a game? Like maybe like 30? 30, 40 maybe? So there would be even less total XP than Emperor as in Crusader, but it also just has like that instant level up. And with Culture you can also spot a lot of planets. So it has to be an S tier. Behind that we have the Diplomat. In theory you can get 2 packs with like 5 other players. Like this is all based on 6-player games because things are different in like 4 and 8-player games and all that stuff. But so 6 player should be like the norm. So you can get 5 different people, 2 packs, that's 10 packs, that's like 200 XP in total, plus you can get like extra stuff. Like this is like even less total XP from Agenda. But again, it's like the fact that it's like so pushy. Like you find the first player, like, but when I think about it, this maybe should be like down here. Like maybe it's not that strong, but it's also like very quickly. Um, then we have Turtle Monumentalist. And the thing about this, why this is S tier, is because this has to be one of the best agendas in terms of like late game XP. Like you can easily get like 10 megas, which would equal 500 agenda XP. The question is, when do you start building megas? Probably for the second council you can get the first one, hit for like 500. Honestly, maybe this is even in front of here. Like maybe the second, like around turn 15, you can get the first one. So then you have like 3 XP per turn, which would be pretty bad, but it's just like as soon as you start building the megas, it like really starts getting up and it's like such a high ceiling. Um, yeah, wait, let me just get a calculator, then we're quicker with some numbers, especially for like total XP. So then we have collective. Um, so collective is just like one of those like really steady XP gainers. You can like you get 8 XP if you play 3 edicts, and that's like kinda annoying in the early game, but I think you can still get it off like in 6 out of 8 turns. And then if you play that up, like that's like just like getting like in late game you will get 8 XP per turn. That's like really steady. It starts immediately. So yeah, I think this is decent. Can go at the top here. Then you have the Spyrat. Spyrat is directly behind this because you get a very decent amount of XP. Like it's very easy to get the 14 XP because you just need to play the edict on a player you haven't have any espionage on. You have like 2 edicts. That's like roughly an espionage every 2.5 turns. So then we could divide 14 by 2.5. That's like 5.6 per turn. But you can also get like extra stuff, like you can politic into an espionage early if you want to level up super quickly. You can choose like, yeah, you can get extra espionages later. Like it's decent. Maybe it's a little bit further down, but because we compare to this, it's probably more like maybe on average you get like 6.5 out of 8 turns. The edict is like 6.5. Like, yeah, I think this goes further down. We will see. This one probably also. Okay, so let's talk about Aggressor. Aggressor gets 20 XP whenever you win a fight. Like first you want to fight like neutral fleets. You can maybe fight like 3 to 4 neutral fleets during the first 2 councils. Like maybe that's like 40 XP per council. That's like 5 XP per turn. So that's like mid, I would say. It's like more like B tier. But you can have insane numbers of like total XP in a game. Like in theory, you can win like 20 battles, and that would make 400 XP. And like 20 battles, like hard, but if you go for it, not too hard, because you can also like pick up like small battles with people. You can get people out of position, fight like single fleets, fight in empty spaces, attack star bases, and all that stuff. So this has a very high ceiling. But honestly, I'm kind of tempted to put it behind the Conqueror. Maybe even behind the Nationalist. Hmm, okay. Then the Conqueror is like really good because it gets like 20 XP whenever you take a planet. Okay, here now it's Aggressor, Conqueror. And what makes this so strong is the fact that you can push it out early, pretty quickly, and you can always like take your next level up with this agenda. Like you, at the beginning, you can push out to 2 planets, relatively quickly get those, and get like one of the quickest level ups to the second level. It's basically just the worst version of Crusader because Crusader needs culture on that planet, but that's not like such a big restriction. And then you play on 3 planets for a while until you have 30 XP on level 2, and then you take 2 more planets to immediately push up to level 2, and so on and so on. But this kind of leaves you back with some support struggle. Like in total, you will probably... Nah, no, I think we can put a Grisser in front. Like in total, you will probably end up with like less XP than somebody like the Aggressor because again, maybe your max is probably lower than Crusader, but also if you take 10 planets, or maybe let's say you take like 15 planets, you end up at like 300 total like agenda XP during a game. That's not like too much. Um, Nationalist also actually has a very solid agenda. It's like 2 XP for every planet without an enemy culture, and that has like 10 or more army strength. And so basically your home planet gives you like a steady income of 2. And then you can relatively quickly, if you play for it, get to like 4 XP per turn. Now that I talk about it, it sounds worse. The thing is, like late game, it's very strong because you can easily get up to like 10 XP per turn. But also needs like some. Maybe I will move them down for now. So then we have like the bird people. Those are like really difficult to rank because he gets 8 XP whenever he moves an edict from his queue or from his stack. And like since you thin your deck out, this will become faster and faster over time. So you cannot really rank it for the amount of XP it actually gives. You can also politic into it, like that's actually also decent. And in the late game, it can easily become like, or like already in the mid game, it can become like an 8 XP per turn generator, which would make it better. So we kind of have those two here because they're very similar, but this one needs command or the citizen defend edict. And those are like slightly worse to play, so maybe you're sometimes intensifies, like sometimes you will skip it, even though he has like more edicts to play, but commands are also like not that great to play, so slightly behind here. And Instigator, I think we have to put Instigator in front of the Spy guys, in front of the birds, just because he's like a little bit quicker. He has like that early push when you get like 14 XP for playing like an espionage edict is like pretty decent. The requirements are not very high. And then we have Patriot. Think hmm, Patriot is like very steady. Like you have 5 edicts that trigger your agenda. You can probably play like it's like roughly 1 per turn, so that's like 5 XP per turn. But yeah, that's a little bit the question. I think we have to put him lower. But of course, like the good thing about this agenda is like that it combines very well with his other abilities. But I think if we only look at the agenda, it's probably more like here. And then we have the Inquisitor. The Inquisitor generates 10 XP whenever you... Okay, wait, I need the text. I think it's a culture on an enemy planet or when you remove another uh, another empire's culture from your empire. So the problem about this is like theoretically, like you can get 3 culture edicts, meaning that you have like 6 XP per turn, which is very decent. The problem is it starts out very late, so this might even be a little bit lower. The problem is it starts like very late to work out because you first need to find like enemy planets or like enemy culture needs to find you, but normally you find the enemy planets. So your early game is like very slow leveling, and then late game gets a lot quicker. In total, you can probably uh, maybe culture. Yeah, maybe total agenda XP is like also something like 200. It's like not too crazy. Then we have the statesman. I think the statesman needs to go higher because of course it's like a very hit or miss leader. You can get 100 XP per council, so in a 40 turn game, which should be average, you have a max out of like 500 XP, which is crazy. Like that would be like total monumentalist level. But let's say you go like more towards 300, which is like a very decent level. And the thing is, it's like, why I'm tempted to not rank this any higher is like because it's like so hit or miss. You have no XP during the first 8 turns, which is bad because you don't hit your first trade. Normally, only you hit the first trade around like turn 8, turn 9. And it should be turn 8. Um, so then you get, you sometimes get like the immediate level up to level 3 on turn 8 after the council. Then you'll feel like an S tier leader. But if you miss everything, you're basically super far behind. So it's like, yeah, it's hard to judge. I think I think B tier is fine for him. I don't know. I will put him here because if you can make it work and if you are good with it and if you're like good at reading the lobby and what people want to vote for and if you like hit like 4 out of 4 in like the first 2 councils, you just have like the best XP generation in the game. You're like sitting at 280 XP, which is enough to take like after the second council you are nearly at your faction edict, and yeah, like it's very good if it works. So we kind of have to give it some respect because in the past I felt like I could make it work. Like you just need to like watch how people vote, and you need to look like who has the most votes and stuff like that. And but the community is small, so I guess you can sometimes even know like to what kind of stuff people want to vote for. And even if you only get the 50 XP per council, you're generating like more than 6 points. So I think it has to be first minister level. Um, then we have the hunter. Hunter is a very difficult one because it's like probably one of the lowest total agenda XPs in the game, but it has a very good like quick leveling. Like you can basically always play Grand Hunt when you play it, and you can easily play it like for the first 20 turns, which is like the most important part of leveling. And afterwards it becomes like sometimes you need to like attack people. Like it's not clear if you can continue like playing it every that much. But at the beginning it's a great edict. It's basically generates like ah I honestly think he has to go down. Even though it's like quick XP, it's just not that good. Oh. because it also costs you bloodlust to play and all that stuff. Like sometimes you even miss it during the first council. Like there are problematic things about that edict. So then we have mechanic as someone who's like kind of hard to rank because it's like 4 XP every time you add a ship to one of your fleets. So how many ships do you add? I think during the first council you start out having 5 ships and 15 spare ammunitions. So it's relatively easy to build like 7 more ships during the first council, which is like 28 XP. That's like 3.5 XP per turn, so that would be bad. But then in the late game, you can actually get much quicker. You can generate a bunch of extra ships. You can easily generate like maybe like 10 XP per turn or 8 XP per turn, and suddenly this feels like close to an S tier. You can also make pushes. You can look for fights to build more ships. All in all, just like hard to judge. I always felt like this agenda is fine, so I will rank him here on like the top of mid tier. I think that's decent. Then we have this one. Basically, that's like every time you activate your faction ability, you get 20 XP. Is it 20? I think it is. Yeah. So normally that happens every 5 turns. So that would make 4 XP per turn, but you can slightly speed stuff up. So then you maybe end up like at 4.55. I think it's worse, but yeah. Um, yeah, it's not clear. I think you will have to go here for first. Then we have the Rodarian, the Overseer. He gets 7 XP every time you get a building into your empire, which is possible by construction. There's 3 construction edicts in some way, because one of them is not a construction, but it works the same. So that's 0.6, because it's roughly like 60% of your turns you build something, times 7. That's like only 4.2 per turn. But the thing is that you can take enemy stuff to gain extra XP. But so I think it's ahead of this one, but probably behind these few, because then we have Fanatic. And Fanatic in theory is like you play the Leader Edict every. The Fanatic has some good like push speed. It's also like roughly 4 XP per turn. But you also need to be in position to take a planet. But on the other hand, it's like very pushable because you just need to play like politic into that and you can make it 40 XP. So, but then again, in total, how many of those EX will you get off? It's like one of the lower ones. I think we need to rank it below or above Hunter. Maybe this needs to be C tier. Okay, then we have the UNE Patriot. For me, that's just like one of like the most average leaders, but he has great combos, making him very strong. But his agenda, as always, is like very average, like roughly 5 XP per turn. No real pushability like mechanic, so slightly worse. Then we have nationalist, like you will start out at like 2 XP per turn. You can quickly get to 4 and like, but basically you need to get to your level 5 trait to really like make this like 10, 12, 14 XP per turn when it becomes OP. But on average, this is maybe It's like I think this is slightly worse, like if we compare to maybe 5 times. Yeah, I think it has like a slow start, so it's like slightly behind this. I still think that you generate just like maybe it's even like this. Because like if you get like one good planet to take early on, that's like very, very good for your agenda. Then we have Explorer, who's also like very hard to rate because how many explorations do you get per turn? Um, like just edict-wise, you get like you get 0.6 explorations per turn. Like if you can do that in like a normal planet, that would be terrible. So that would be 4 times 0.6, that's like 2.4 XP per turn. Bad. But then you have academic fleets and nebulas, and if we say like you can push that very hard in the beginning, if we say you get like maybe like 0.6 explorations, but everything is in a nebula, you are like at 6 XP per turn. That would be great. So yeah, it's let's rank him here because it can be pushed, and especially if you have like a good start, it's like very powerful. Yeah, it's a decent agenda. And then we have Visionary. He gets like maybe like 4 XP, slightly more per turn, but it's like very steady income. But you first need to find someone to play it on. Nah, honestly, probably has to go C tier. It probably has to go C tier. Um, Even though it's like slightly more than 4, like let's put him here at the bottom. So Sociale, like this one, is also like decent. You get 3 XP for every neighboring faction. Like I would say default is like having 2 neighbor factions. In that case, you would generate like 6 XP per turn. So it's a little bit like nationalist, but you have, in some way, you have like more flexibility. You don't start out, you first need to find someone, and you cannot really go as high as nationals, but therefore you can, it's easier to push out early while not restricting yourself too much. Still, all in all, I would rank him like maybe even above this one. Just because you have like you can, if you get like Nexus early on, you can sometimes generate like 9 XP per turn. And if you hold that for like 8 turns, you're quickly at, what is it, 8 turns times 9? It's like 72 XP. It's like pretty decent. I think on average, it's also possible to get like 240 XP during a game, which should be average. That's all fine. Um, then we have this one. You can basically you get. Oh wait, how many XP do you get? You get 14. Yeah, 14 XP every time you successfully complete an espionage. So that's far worse than the instigator. But in theory, like we have like 2 espionage edicts. So that makes like, I don't know, 2. It's like, nah, it's 0.4. Wait, 0.4? That's like 5.6 XP per turn, unless people find out about you, and you also need to waste so many actions that I just felt like ranking him above C tier is just unfair. Uh, then we have this one. Basically, it's you have like a very steady income of like 4 XP per turn on average. But if you pick materialist, you can actually up it to 6. So that's why I rank him, maybe even, let's rank him bottom here. Because in the early game, you can actually politic stuff, and you can do some things to push out very quickly. So let's put him B tier. Then we have Hunter and this dude. So yeah, they are like pushy. but also to like roughly generate 4 XP per turn. But if you really need like a level up, you can probably like politic into the required edict ones, and just for that fact, they get ranked a little bit higher. Then we have Admiral, who is very hard to judge. Like you can easily get like 9 ships at the beginning. 9 ships is like not too hard, and that's like 3 XP per turn. Now, that would be worse than the leaders in front of him, but of course in the late game you can have like fleets easily up to like 18 ships. Then you generate 6 XP per turn, then you're like more like a B to A tier leader. You can build huge fleets and become even better, but you're also like very disruptible to attacks by other players and all that stuff. So yeah, mm, hard to say. Then I put all the diplomatic leaders because they are all like hit or miss. All of them can go crazy. That's like a huge advantage of like the diplomat, because why is the diplomat so high but these guys are so low? Because they are like very specific requirements, and pacts are far easier to make. Additionally, diplomat can also just force her pacts on other players. So it would be kind of unfair to claim that these are like similar. On the other hand, like the one credit probably is like okayish to get. Yeah, it's these are like kind of hard to judge. But maybe I have to put them higher if I put diplomat in like first minister. Um, because in theory you can probably get like, if it's going good, you can probably generate like 5 XP per turn using this dude, and you have like early pushability. So I think diplomat nets has to go lower. I think we overrated him slightly, because definitely harder than these agendas. Let's put him in B tier. And yeah, if offers get declined, it's like just like such a huge negative. Um, like this one needs the credit the most because there's no alternative condition to get XP. This one gets like 1 XP for every ship in like that's the longer one, I will just show it. It's like possible to get that. If you get like a non-aggression pact and you can park like 6 ship over somewhere, this becomes very strong. On the other hand, giving fleets to other players is like probably the worst condition. And then this one can go crazy. Like all 3 of these can be very good if players give you the deals. All 3 of them are very bad if players don't give you any deals. So I just rate them C tier. Um, maybe they deserve higher. They're definitely like super easy to feed. And yeah, they have good comeback potential. If people feel like you're behind, they're more willing to give you that credit or to like take a good tech from you. To take a fleet from you, they're like, oh yeah, actually I could use that. He will get 25 XP, I don't care. Suddenly you have a great agenda. So yeah, let's keep these behind. And then we have him. The problem about this dude is like maybe you get 20 XP whenever you fill the last place of a planet, but you can also use recruitment to like build a planet, like complete a planet, and then add like 1 extra building. So that makes normally he has like a curve, and then he probably gets You can probably get 40 XP per council. So that makes 8 XP per turn. But the first council is weaker normally. That's ranking him in B tier. Like, I don't know, this is like so hard to judge because like if you say as soon as you complete your first planet, that's probably even a very good timing, right? But the problem is that your starting planet is like not the greatest planet to fill up early on. But if you say you get like every time, basically once per rotation, every 5 turns, you fill up a new planet completely. So that's 0.2 times 20. And then let's say once per council, so once per 8 turns, you completely fill up a planet. That would give you 6.5 points per turn, which would like even be like S tier. No, A tier. Wait, I will also rename those. Oh wait, I think you need to do it over here, right? Yeah. Okay. And then we have the bureaucrat who gets like 10 XP every he plays one of his 3 politic edicts, which is weird because you don't really want to sin your deck super much because you want to get good XP from your leader edict. So you probably want to stay like around like 20 cards, or like let's say 21. So every 7th card, like roughly every 2 turns, less than 2 turns, like maybe. This one is hard to judge. Like it could be C tier. It probably deserves the C tier. Like deserves. But then again, politic edicts are like not really something you always want to play, so it's very very hard to judge. I would like to put him in D tier for now because I think his strengths are really somewhere else. Uh, then we have like God Queen, like these leaders, they are all just like very bad. God Queen is like probably it's like even worse. Like God Queen is so bad. Yeah. Unless you get Regent, like you need Nexus if you want to make God Queen work. Proliferator is like the worst agenda in the game. Like even in like super late game, you only get like up to like 5 XP per turn. You start the game on 0 XP per turn. For a long time, you will be on 1 XP per turn. But yeah, and this one is just like how much money do you make during a game? Like let's say you make 1,000 credits during the whole game, then you end up with like 200 XP from your agenda. Like earlier I thought like this is actually great late game. But if you have a trade edict, like you have 0.6 trade edicts per turn, and let's say you get 50 credits for a trade and people do trade with you, that comes up to wait, like 50 credits, that's like 10 XP. So you end up with like 6 XP per turn. And you don't need to be, if you're ahead, people don't trade with you. If people are scared of buyout, they don't trade with you. You first of all need to get to like a trade value where you get like trades of like 50. It's just not good. So Let's leave it like that. And I will quickly create a new post. Mm, hmm. Yeah, I'm really thinking about if like leaders are really should really be ranked this low. Hmm. You know what? I will make a short switch. I will push some people down. I will do this. Just like, maybe rank him higher. Just because of that, like, top of C tier. Um, and we will rank these at the bottom of B tier. Pull him down as well. Uh, yeah, I think yeah, you can have like good speed. So let me like redo that text message. Okay. So then, after ranking the agendas, I thought about maybe doing like a quick one and ranking all the faction abilities. So let's reset. So we want to know what are the best, just, or maybe, or should we go to traits first? Yeah, maybe let's go for traits and we start from UNE. Uh, Traits will not consider the ultimate. Will only consider the 15 traits you can unlock. And I think UNE has to be S tier. In this, roughly in this order. But it's very close, of course, every faction. Um, or are they? I mean, we can start out by basically splitting into has parliamentary system and does not have parliamentary system. Uh, is there parliamentary system on Arve Bren? I think so, right? Wait, let's check for a second. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what you have besides parliamentary system, because parliamentary system is always the best level, the best trait on that level. Uh, so we start like this for your level for your level 4s, and then we like give them small bumps if they have like good stuff on like certain levels. So maybe yeah, let's put them into the mid here, like mm, those guys into 8 here. Okay, so now for the level 2 trait, UNE goes up. That is like order. Because it's just like very good. Like Pacifist is just a great edict. Then our brand goes up for the same reason. Pacifist being just like super strong. Probably like something like this. Um, and this guy probably like materialist is very good. Like Shino also has like a very nice level 1. They have materialist and militarist. Woodarian kinda suck on level 1, and if we're honest, also on level 2. And the only good thing Woodarian really has is their level 5. But that might not be enough for you. I think we have to rank Woodarian at the bottom. Their traits are just terrible. Yeah. Then if we look at like Ixidar traits, it's pretty much always militarist on the first one, which is like okay. The extra construction, like the level 2 trait, is actually kinda fine. But they don't get +1 support every time they level up. They only get an extra action, so their traits are like somewhat worse. I think we can probably go like this. And then like because all of these can like somewhat profit from the level 4 trait. Level 3 trait for X is like decent. I mean, probably better than the maybe those guys have to stay down here. I mean, they have a I think it has to be like this. And these guys, I mean, they have militants, but that's really the only good thing they have on their traits. Everything else is like, I mean, they have militarist with like but these guys also have militarist. Hmm. What even are the Yondar traits like? Exalted Ruler, Espionage. Like this is really bad. Like the level 4 is just bad. This has basically Militant, which is great. This is the level 2 is also pretty decent. And this has also some nice ideas. But I think I have to put them. Yeah, he can pick the extra culture and that gives him quicker leveling. I think all the ones that get quicker leveling need to be ranked higher. Okay, maybe like this. And Glebsig also has like some weird stuff, like their level 3 is not good. Their level 5 isn't great either. Probably one of the worst mechas in the game. Delegations are also like only mid, not like super OP, not like a must pick, but they are the best you can pick. Level 1 is extra culture, which is like nice. But I think we have to put them down into B tier. I mean, of course, they are better than these guys, because that's not hard to achieve. But yeah, I think higher would be unfair. And we have Kelazan. I think Kelazan is so hard because they have militarist plus 10 bloodlust or the barracks into parliamentary system or extra construction, which are both playable. Or I'm so tempted to put them into S tier. Like the whole Kel. We have to think about that in a second. Let's skip them for now. How good is war parliamentary system? Is great. And probably makes them. Probably parliamentary system still only gets you like top of B tier. The level 1 is like very, very good. Far better than those guys. The level 2 is very strong. I think this is like a scenario of A tier. Trotron now has a bad level 3. Definitely worse level 3 than these guys. So maybe let's move them down. And then birds. Birds are also not weak. They have a bad level 1. The level 1 is not really that great. But the level 2 is super powerful. Their level 3 is parliamentary system, and the level 4 is. Level 4 is not so strong. Unless for him. For him, his level 4 is actually powerful. So now those of S tier, I think I need to move down some of them. or maybe all of them have like S tier genders. Like if we look at it, E. Level 1 is super strong. One of the strongest level 2s. Level 3 is decent. It's still decent. You can always use it. It's just not overpowered. Then we have parliamentary system, which is like super strong on E especially. And then we have super carriers, a decent mega structure or free politic edicts, which okay, let's move E down and rate the free politic edict as like it's like a power spike because like honestly yeah, nah, maybe like this. And I think Kel has to be S tier. Like their traits are like so good. They're like really good traits. But Abelbren has a very strong level 5 with extra culture gains, parliamentary system, a good ship on level 3. I think I have to rate it like this. So, and we can call the reset. And let's do uh, so next we can rate leaders by the edicts they get access to. So basically this one, as well as the faction edicts, as well as yeah, like all the extra edicts basically other people don't have access to. Um, so let's start with UNE. They get like an extra politic edict as a faction. A consolidate and versatile. Versatile is like an S tier edict. Consolidate is also decent. Honestly, like just a strong edict. Um, Politic is a decent edict, probably like mid tier. Security is a good edict. Patriotism is a good edict, and another politic edict is also it's like again decent. So I think Patriot goes like S tier. Then this one gets Annex and Bolster. They are like slightly worse, maybe slightly worse, maybe slightly better. I am they have advantages, but I think it's also like S tier. And this one gets manipulation. Now that I see manipulation, I maybe have to move the others down into A tier, the other two leaders. Um, So maybe something like this. Then we have the wars, and they get an extra research edict, which by the way is like super powerful. Better than the politic. Then we have also a very, very good ultimate. We have on Technocrat, we have an extra espionage and cybernetic mandate, which are like more like mid tier, but research is still maybe like here. No, I think he can go S tier. But then these guys, no, I think he has to go S tier, right? Maybe like this. These are like all these are like, hmm. I know, no. This like this. Okay, I think this is fine because basically she also like all of them don't really get like Technocrat gets no wait. Ah. All of them get like mid-level extra edicts with like diplomacy, explore, espionage. I think scientific administration is not really that great, but technological supremacy is great, research is great. And what makes her S tier is that seminar is also actually very good, and diplomacy is not even the worst on war. Also combo ability was like her leader ability. He has like deep space mission is just honestly deep space mission is not good enough, I think. He goes B tier, but it's a very good B tier. So then next we have Kelazan. So Hunter's Great Hunt is great. That's like an S tier level. The ultimate is great. Kelazan has an extra command edict, which is bad, but Hunter gets an extra construction. But Rally again is like a decent edict, so he's like kind of between. I think he's slightly behind this because his ultimate is weaker. Then we have Aggressor, which is I think Aggressor gets like an extra politic edict if I'm not mistaken. Both of them get like extra politic, which is strong. Extra politic is good. Extra command is weak. Training is decent. Rally is decent. Inspire is good. Assault is very cool. So I think it's like bottom of A tier. And then Conqueror, like he has, or maybe I think we have to move him down here. And then Conqueror is maybe even C tier. No, but he has a better ultimate. He has a very, very nice ultimate. Preemptive strike is not that great, but also not terrible. You can use it sometimes. Yeah, maybe let's put him like this. Yeah, then we have these guys. These all get an extra construction for free. And insular growth is also like an insane edict. Uh, Fortify is bad. Emergency vote is also not really good. Electors is mid at most. And extra diplomacy is also only mid. The extra construction is good, but I think, well, I have to put him. I think I have to put him down here because also the ultimate is not that strong. Okay, now we have these guys. Like his ultimate is good. He gets 2 extra construction edicts, which is probably enough for A tier. And he gets, or his ability is also great. Like I think this dude is straight up like S tier. Yeah, has to be. And this guy has to be like B tier. I think this guy has to be A tier. but it's a very good A tier. Probably better than him. Probably is here, like top of A tier. And then this one just misses ultimates and stuff like that. Um, you know what? Probably it's like even like that, just because construction is so much better than. Uh, Maybe like this. Um, then we have Chinois. They have buyout. Buyout is good. His They have extra trade. Extra trade is kinda bad. Um, Double trade and Vest on the other hand is like a great. It's like one of the best edicts in the game, honestly. So probably deserves something like A tier. Yeah, because this one is even better. This one is far better. I think this one is S tier. Oh, both of them could be S tier. Like now it's getting really hard to call out which leaders are like, okay, let's put them there for now. I have to think about that later again. Okay, finally some like okay, his extra edict, like this is like straight up D tier. Finally an easy choice. Espionage is bad on Ixidar. Does Ixidar get an extra politic edict? I think it does. Yeah, it's two politics. Normally you have two constructions, one of everything, and then you get one extra edict on every faction. Um, and search is like good. Deep excavation is like good. Construction is like fine. I think it's still only like C tier because like deep excavation can be weird. Uh, Maybe it's like fine, but we have to rank someone low. I think we have to push other people lower later. I think it has to be in front of this, and this one has like great edicts. Maybe like this. Then we have Yondar. Yondar has an extra culture edict. Crusader gets an extra construction. The Yondar faction edict, Holy Wars is like can be like good, but it's I think Crusader's actually like C tier edict wise. It's not that great. We have Rodarians. Rodarian starts with an extra espionage, that's bad. That's basically in construction and research. That's like one of the craziest things you get, but refining is not that good. Improvise is decent. Rodarian is like somewhere around here. We will need to rank some people down. I can already see that coming. So let's just quickly put like stuff like roughly where it belongs. Gleb is actually not that strong, right? Extra Diplo Edict isn't great. Explore is not good. Diplo is not good. Politic on him is probably the best choice you can get. Envoy is like okay, but Coordinate is. Our Coordinate is actually like nice. Like all of those edicts are like good. Mm. That's like decent, decent, bad, decent, and commune is kinda OP. So it sounds like B tier to me. And then like, bird people are bad. Bird people have bad extra edicts. Because that's, you have to multiply everything by 2. That's like explore and trade, that's terrible. Focus is, uh, focus is probably extremely powerful, and referendum as well. Politics again, politics are not even that great on them. This command, extra command is bad. Citizen defense force isn't great. This dude has also command, like, These dudes are bad, finally. These guys have extra explore, which isn't great. This is mid at most. This one has like very seeker is good, and archdude is also good. But I think these two can also go C tier. No, wait, I need the list. Okay, so now we need to push, I think, some people down. Or is there just like a very big average? Yeah, I think Monumentalist has to be on the top. There's not a single bad edict Monumentalist gets. Diplomat has diplomacy, which is only mid at most. Diplomacy is mid. But everything else is like really great. I think she has to go down A tier. So basically all these leaders have like only a slight negative. But Diplomat also has a slight negative. Technocrat, this actually has 2 negatives. Technocrat has also 2 negatives. Admiral is fine. And then Seeker has research, he has 1 negative on explore. What's his ultimate? This can actually be fine. Yeah, I think he sits right at the bottom here. So now we have to get the order on like B tier. Like B tier is basically 2 edicts that are not like super good. So we still have super strong ultimates. Diplomacy isn't great. And his ultimate is not good. Okay, he needs to go down in C tier. This is still, it's probably even higher, right? Because basically oh, I underrated this. Because this one culture is really no. This dude is like kinda OP edict wise. Okay, this dude has espionage isn't great, refining isn't great, extra command isn't great, but I think his other edicts outrank statesman. He basically has a research instead of command, which is good. Yeah, he has to stay up here. But this dude, hmm, diplomacy isn't great. The extra edict is only good for him. Ah, wait. God Queen. I think it's like this. Maybe this one even better. Conqueror has like Conqueror hasn't the best edicts. This dude also needs to move down. Aggressor. Command sucks. Rally isn't great. Okay, he also needs to go down here. Crusader has command, which isn't great. That's basically it. He also has to go up here. Hmm. Actually, I think Commune might be so OP that all these three guys to the front. Oh, his ultimate is kinda cool, so maybe he deserves like C tier. But nah. Like he misses a good ultimate, so let's put him down. Ultimate is just not good enough. This is UNE is mostly like comboing themselves to the top. Let's put like Gleb up here because Commune is like a game winner. Maybe like this. So now there's basically one thing left to do, and that's rank them by their ability. Faction ability and faction ability and starting planet. So let's call the reset. And I already know. Like Shinore's like a very, very bad faction. If you just consider like their bonuses. Uh, because they get a victory point less, and basically cooperation is already included in the edict rating. They get 3 extra trade value and some credits at the beginning. And they start on an industrial plant, which is the second worst. So this pretty much sucks. Then we can look at Rodarians, who are probably maybe just barely getting like a C tier for themselves. But this negative is huge. Not as bad as losing victory points though. But they actually have like a very good strength. Like the +1 support, actually strong. Also salvage, that they can access that. We also need to consider faction ships. Actually, privateers are very strong, so. But still, diplomacy so bad, even though they have privateers. So Rodarians are actually C tier because this is a pretty bad weakness, but maybe they're even B tier. Just because scavengers are good, scavengers are great, salvage is like decent and can maybe even out this. Their strength is very good. They cannot remove culture, but that's like not too big of a weakness. It's okay. Um, then we have another faction that has super bad faction strength. It's Turtwan, like the 100% extra upkeep, with Patriarchs being like mid at most. Oh wait, Rodarians also start on a mining planet. That pushes them down again. Um, I think Turtwan is like kinda has to go below Rodarians even. Um, this even goes in D tier because it's so bad to not start on a. Maybe let's put them C tier. Then, oh, Ixidar. Ixidar is also terrible. You know why? Because they don't have. And by the way, this is +1 for planets. Not enough to even this one out, but it's. In total, I would say their faction ability is negative. And we have Ixidar, and I think we can argue that their faction ability is also negative. Especially for him, like he sits like in D tier. As well as this dude. I think this is like decent. For him it's like you want to spam so many planets that the not needing support is actually a big advantage. Um, okay, let's look at like some of the best, like Yondar, by the way. Straight up the kings of like faction ability. They have like a huge negative here, but they start on a populous planet, and they have the best strength in the game. Uh, Same will go for. What a crazy! I never knew about this about this strength. Wow. Okay. Hmm. Uh, so like strength is decent. Weakness is probably like pretty bad, but not like terrible. And phase is like pretty good. And you start on a mining all in all. Probably something like this. Yeah, not great, not bad either. pretty mid. Kelazan, Bloodlust is like weakness is can be heavily abused, but Shock Troops is good. Bloodlust is completely crazy. Starting on a mining world is like slightly sad, so go something like this. Maybe this could even go up here because mining world is not as problematic for him because he can always great hunt it. Ooh, Glapsic is also mid at most, right? I honestly think Glapsic is like negative. I think Vudarians need to move up. There's so much bad stuff around here. Actually, Glapsic, C tier. The only thing they get is they're like kinda secure from war and they start on an advanced world, which is like decent. But their unique resource doesn't get them anything. Um, War also like super sucks. Oh wait, their strength is actually like super broken and frail is like super bad and mm, mm. They get free support, the faction resource is actually like super overpowered. Kind of have to rate them higher. This one is like kind of the weakest one because you don't want to thin your deck like super low, so Politic Edicts have like less value. Um, Okay. So let's like adjust the ranking. Hmm. So let's look at leaders and see how they rank through the different stuff. Like this has the best agenda. Is traits, we still get him A tier. Edicts, we got him A tier. And remaining bonuses, we went with him for B tier. So like honestly, he has to be B tier. Is there a leader that's scored S tier on everything? No, there isn't. I think we have to put him S tier. Like honestly, Ava Brandis has been like so strong lately. Here I kind of feel like Proliferator actually should be D tier. Hmm. I feel like I need to. Monumentalist will go B tier because he's easy to attack and to disrupt. Otherwise, he would be like a top contender, but it's like too easy to disrupt him. Um, where does the other Shinor goes? They're like D tier in remaining bonuses. They are very high ranked in like A and S tier. For edicts, they're ranked pretty low in traits. Gender is ranked mid. Think, yeah, be like this. Let us put these back for a second. Rank the other Arbor Bren. It's like C tier, S tier finish on trades for all the Arbor leaders. C tier and B tier. I think Fnatic beats out on these two leaders. It's just better. Nationalist. Yeah, maybe over here. Ranking some Gleb. That Gleb got C tier, B tier, B tier, C tier. And this Gleb, he gets C tier, A tier, B tier, C tier. Honestly, think it should be like this. And Protector, I think Protector got like Edict's S tier, but it's otherwise it's like B tier, B tier, S tier, C tier. So let's put him here at the bottom. Maybe Protector can do stuff. This bird is interesting. What is his ranking? It's B tier, C tier, B tier, A tier. I will rank him here. I just think all the birds have a lot of potential. Then Technocrat, you got C tier, A tier, B tier, A tier. A strong A tier, I think. This bird, he got from bottom to up B, D, A, A. I think he can go here, but then this guy needs to go up here. Bureaucrat gained C, C, B, D. I think he has, yeah, I think he actually needs to go down into C tier, like, yeah. Hmm. Hmm. So Rodarians. Lately, I think Rodarians are not that bad, but probably they are. Their genders are like B tier, like their traits are D tier, like the edicts are like C to B tier, like, and their ability is like low B tier, like. I think Mechanic got the best combo ability. And I think the Spyrat has some potential we have not yet discovered. But yeah. I think he goes back to S tier because he just has the best combo in the game. And I need to rate the best combo in the game highly. Diplomat, on the other hand, is like C tier. Okay, S tier edict wise, agenda A, no B, traits A. I think in 8 players she's broken. I still feel like there's like a power creep when I get to like these 3 leaders. I think Diplomat just can be that scary that you have to put him up here. Really feel like these need to go down to B tier. We still have a lot of very strong leaders left. Like Teacher. Teacher is ranked bottom of B tier, behind A tier in traits, low A tier in. Okay, I think she goes here. Explorer is in remaining bonuses high A tier. In edicts, he is mid B tier. Then he's high A tier and mid B tier. So, but he has good combos. I think we have to move him here. He's a little bit more random, I think. Technocrat is just better. Then we have Crusader on S tier, Crusader in C tier for traits, Crusader in A tier, and Crusader in S tier. Hmm. Inquisitor. I expect this one to be A tier, but he might deserve an S tier, if I'm honest. I honestly think so. The agenda slightly lacks, but that's like the only negative thing about this leader. And God Queen is always a hard one, because that's also very hit or miss. But if you think about God Queen, she has some of the best edicts in the game. She has some of the best faction ability in the game. She has bad traits and a bad gender. top of Z tier. And then this dude. Maybe this is fair for tier list. Let's check if I changed my opinion massively since my last tier list. So if we put this one here, this one here. So basically I gave him S tier, but I think that's justified. I gave Inquisitor S tier, but I think that's also justified. Aggressor lost a lot of spaces, but I think that's also fine. Protector gained some spaces. A tier got a lot thinner. D tier saw some changes. I ranked the Marshal higher. That's probably wrong. We cannot rate Marshal higher than God Queen. Maybe he deserves the B tier entry. I mean, it's still... Okay. I will use this and send it in as a new tier list. Yeah. Are we happy with this list? I think this is good. All the S and A tier leaders are basically leaders when it's maybe with the exception of Mercenaries. Mercenary I think has to go down to B tier maybe. I overrate him. I like him too much. Let's put mechanic down, right? I like mechanic, but I think that's also a problem. Let's redo that. Or one last chance to put Patriot on top of A tier? Nah. Versatile spam is too strong on Patriot. It's the strongest combo in the game, and I think I have to give it some praise there. Okay, wait, that didn't work. Ah, I know why it didn't work. So basically, all the S and A tier leaders are leaders you should feel very confident playing. Like you can win games with them. B tier are all the leaders you can take some victories with. They have definitely their abilities to like contest games, their strengths. C tier leaders are all the leaders that are like a little bit wacky. They have their struggles, but they can work out. They have things going for them, and D tier leaders are leaders that are just a little bit off. Yeah, I think this fits. Okay. Wait, but I wanna. Yeah,